Today we're talking about creative seasons and the fact that you go through creative cycles. And once you can hone in on what creative season you are in, it will change your entire creative process. That's coming up. What's going on, everybody? I am Youngman Brown, and this is your Creative Push. This is the podcast and the YouTube channel that's all about helping you to push past your creative resistances so that you can live your most fulfilled creative life. And today we're talking about creative seasons. We all go through peaks and valleys in our creative process, in our creative journey. And while you might kind of recognize that on the surface, that some days are good, some days are bad, some months are good, some months are bad, there is a extreme value in knowing your process and knowing exactly when those peaks come, exactly when those valleys come, so that you can better navigate your entire creative journey and go with what your body and your mind and your heart and your soul is telling you that you need to do. Now, instead of maybe telling you exactly what seasons you should be going through, I don't think that's appropriate, because I think that everybody goes through different seasons and everybody needs to spend more time in some seasons than others, and it's a very individualized effort. So what I think might be more helpful for you is if I share with you my ideal seasons and also where I inevitably fail almost every single time in both recognizing what season I'm in, and then once I do recognize that season, denying the fact that I'm in that season and just pushing through with whatever I'm trying to do at that time. So I have 4 seasons that I try to go through in my creative journey. The first one is incubation. That is where I'm getting ideas and sort of storing those seeds and kind of planting those ideas and trying to let them formulate in my head. The second one is the creation, where I actually put those ideas into action and make the art. The third is sharing, where I share what I've made, share my writing, share podcast episodes, share all the stuff that I've been producing. And the fourth season is rest, which is, I think, one of the most important seasons that I definitely don't pay attention to. But let's go into each of those seasons and why I fail hard at almost every single one of them. So it's in phase 1, in season 1, the incubation period, where I think everything starts to go wrong for me because I spend way too much time doing research about the source material of what I want to create when I get that idea. Or if I get an idea to start something new, I spend so much time watching YouTube videos or reading articles from people who have done the thing that I want to do, so that I can try to answer as many of the questions that I can possibly conceive of coming up and trying to answer them before I even start. And I've talked about this at length in the podcast, and I've made videos about it, about not spending too much time in this phase, because it will maybe even stop you in your tracks when you realize all the questions that you have. It's better to just, and what I should do is just spend as little time as possible in this phase and get right to the actual creation of the thing, using that energy and that obsessive compulsions that I have to go right into the work and to figure out all those questions later. Because what ends up happening for me is when I transition finally into phase 2, I've already used and expelled so much of that energy that I had when I got the idea that I don't have as much energy and output to put into the actual creation of the thing. Or if I have multiple things that I want to create, now my creative season has been shortened because I inevitably hit that burnout. So what I end up doing is I cram seasons 2 and 3 into one season. I create and I share, I create and I share, and I do that as long as I possibly can while I'm still getting that great seasonal energy, but it's so shortened that I make a new season because I condensed the creation and the sharing into one season. Now I have my third season is burnout, and I have a full season that I devote to burnout where I'm still creating the work. My heart is not in it. I've experienced this many times where I just keep creating because I feel the obligation to my audience or to myself to continue to create, but my heart's not in it and I'm not creating my best work. So I live in that burnout phase for way longer than I should, and I delay my rest, the fourth season, because I don't want to, quote, give up. I don't want to take a break. I don't want to rest because it has so many feelings of shame because I didn't handle my previous seasons to the best of my abilities. Now, like I said, everybody's seasons are going to be different, and your seasons are going to be vastly different than my seasons, and the duration of your seasons are going to be different as well. So it's really up to you to figure out how long your seasons are, how many seasons you have, and what are the signs that you need to start making yourself transition from one season to another. And maybe some of your seasons merge and mesh into one, like my creation and sharing do. However, that might not be the best thing. So what I urge you to do in this video is to take a few moments and write down what your possible seasons are if you haven't done this before. Really think about mistakes that you've made in the past or successes that you've had in the past. Maybe multi-months where you were just creating like crazy. What did your life look like at that point? Really take the time to journal down what that looked like for you so that you can have a bit of a game plan in the future and you can adjust when you are taking too much time in the incubation period, perhaps, or not taking enough time to rest, perhaps, so that you can listen to your body and you can listen to your brain and you can listen to your creative soul when it's urging you to do something different. And doing so, listening to yourself like that and knowing what your seasons are will make every other season better, and it will make your creative process as a whole a much more fulfilling experience, and it will let you get back into your creative season when it's time to get back. One of my favorite takes on creative seasons came from Adam Paquette because it only involves two, breathing in and breathing out. That video is listed for you here on the screen or in the description below to watch next. And before you leave, let me know, what creative season are you in and how many creative seasons do you have? I'm very interested in hearing that answer, so please comment below. See you in the next video.